Bruno Fernandes coming up clutch for Eric Ten Hag in London today there against Fulham. It was a game where Manchester United were pretty devoid of any sort of quality. That was not a Premier League game of football in terms of what we watched. But amidst the chaos, the pinball, you saw this sign in the away end before the game. Play like you mean it. And for a lot of that game, United were just devoid of any sort of real quality. But it was Bruno Fernandes who came up with that moment there right at the end. We have been Moments FC this season. Brentford from Scott McTominay, 90th minute plus 2 goals after the 90th minute. And that, I'll tell you what, that away end deserved it today. I should have been in that. But who cares? Scott McTominay, I'm going to speak about you. But Bruno Fernandes with the moment of quality when we needed it. Oh, geez, that was a captain's moment. And I'll be honest, it wasn't really a captain's performance from him. Bruno Fernandes this season has largely just not been Bruno Fernandes. But at a time when his manager needed him, when United needed him, Bruno Fernandes came up with the goods. And you saw from Ten Hag's celebration what it meant to him as well. It was a game that was eking towards a 0-0, eking towards another set of questions being asked about Ten Hag, his selections. And there was more questions in that starting 11, I'll be completely honest. But that's 3 points. That needs to be the turning point. Piss off. We've heard that before. It was supposed to be the turning point after Brentford. Then what followed? Yeah, that wasn't exactly a turning point. But at what point do you just slap these players upside the head and just say, wake up? Wake up. You are playing for United. You are wearing the United shirt. And you play like that for large portions of the game. Play like you mean it. Well, we got the last minute winner. Great. But now results are just not enough for Eric Ten Hag. We need progression with this team. We need to see forward steps, not a sideways step and then 2 down the ladder and then another 2 back up the ladder. But that there, we kept a clean sheet. Harry Maguire, I was going to speak about him a little bit later in the show, but sorry, I'm going to speak about him now. Played with what looked like a concussion the entire game, and I would probably say he was our man of the match. Harry Maguire, look, I would never in a million years have guessed it. And I love being made to eat humble pie. I really do. I'm telling you, in games where Harry Maguire can play against a team that's not going to pressure him on the ball, then he plays well. And he did it again there today. Fulham are worse than us. Fulham had absolutely nothing going forward. And neither did United. No service of Rasmus Højlund. Anthony, I'm going to get into Anthony in a little bit now, but Bruno Fernandes, that's the moment that matters. That's the 3 points that matters. After City and Newcastle, man, everything that we'd seen this week about the dressing room leaks, about players questioning Ten Hag and this and that and noise and Rashford before the game. Now Rashford's out of the game with injury. So many daggers coming from all these different angles. To see our captain score that goal there, and the away end deserved it, by the way. Absolutely class sounding away. And I'll be honest, I haven't really heard a United away and sound that good in a while. Craven Cottage is a great away day. Just makes me sad I wasn't there. Anyway, I have already said that. I'll say it again. Bruno. Copenhagen next, then Luton, then an international break. It's got to be nothing but 2 more wins in succession. Oh, man, can we have a little conversation here? Look, Eric Ten, I tell you what, can we have a conversation about this first? What is a subjective offside? Somebody, leave it in the comments. Can you please let me know? They gave it because Maguire was interfering in play. Okay. I thought the concept of offside was it wasn't subjective. It's a yes or no. Are you past the last man or not? Oh, no, Maguire might be in play. Has there been, there may well have been, I don't remember it. Has there been a decision like that in the Premier League where the referee gets pulled to the side to look at an offside? We're not talking about a penalty or a handball here. We're talking about a fucking offside. 4 minutes into the game that would have completely transformed how we were playing at the start of it. But no, it felt like it was going towards that same... Stuff's going against us, sure. But boy, we don't make it easy for ourselves. And I'll tell you what, I think I've checked out with Anthony now. He's easily the worst signing that Ten Hag has made and is the definition of what is wrong with Manchester United's recruitment department. We signed him last season after we lost to Brighton and Brentford for double the value that we should have signed him for Ten Hag's recommendation because he was the best player for that position, not the best player that we could have signed, but the best player that Ten Hag knew. he is just devoid of any quality at this moment in time. And everything that's gone on with all the off-the-pitch stuff this season with Anthony. Take him out of the team, man. Pellistri came on. I've got questions about Pellistri. I think that, I can't remember what games it was when Pellistri started 2 games in a row and he just didn't have enough quality there. But anyway, Anthony cannot be starting there. And I'll tell you what, Erik ten Hag, okay? Can we just have a conversation? We're not going to have a conversation. Please stop with the McTominay starting experiment, whatever you want to call it. I know why you're doing it. You are doing it because this United team has a lack of threat going forward. Look, we've got another game, another win there. And another game where an attacker didn't score. It's Bruno Fernandes. We've had to rely on Diogo Dalot at Sheffield United. Scott McTominay against Brentford. Our wins this season have been goals from our defenders. Was it Burnley? Was it McTominay scored there against Burnley? Was it Maguire? Was it Varane? Evans? I have no idea. It's not our attackers. That's why I start McTominay. But it's not worth how much it damages our midfield shape. Eriksen happened 3 or 4 times, just like it happened to Casemiro early this season when you're playing with 2 aggressive number 8s and just get left exposed. And Eriksen has not got the leg. We don't have an athlete like Yves Bissouma or Moises Caicedo or Enzo Fernandez. That sort of all-purpose, elite level number, not really a number 6 per se, but somebody who can play in that role. We don't have that. Eriksen's too old for it. Casemiro's too old for it. Amrabat, he may have the tank, but he doesn't have the acceleration for that. Stop with starting McTominay there, please. And has Mason Mount got nudes? I don't understand it. Like, Anthony might be the worst signing that Ten Hag made, but Mount is probably the most confusing because he pushed really hard to sign Mason Mount at the start of the transfer window. We signed him quite early. And now he's left on the bench for Man City at home. He's left on the bench for Fulham away, and he only comes on for the last 15 minutes away at Fulham. And we start with Eriksen, McTominay, and Bruno. Somebody tell me what's going on with Mason Mount. Because Mason Mount should absolutely be starting on that right wing ahead of Anthony against Luton. And probably against Copenhagen as well. Remember, Copenhagen is a must-win game. I don't know what Mason Mount has done or isn't doing, but it's certainly not as bad as Anthony. And I fully agree with a lot of people. I tried to make my opinions on players. I tried to give them enough time. Anthony's had enough time now. My opinion is made on him. He's not good enough for Manchester United, and he's certainly not good enough for the 85 million we pay for him. Now, Rasmus Højlund is somebody who is absolutely starved of any service. Starved. Anthony's not going to do anything on that right-hand side. Garnacho is somebody who drives his head down, but he was getting doubled up on. Diogo Dalot rarely went on the overlap. That's right. When you don't have the overlapping runs from fullbacks, you make it easy for defences to double up on the wingers. And that's exactly what Fulham did on Garnacho. And a couple of chances he got through, but Højlund's not getting any service. He looked frustrated when he got taken off, and I'm not surprised. He's making the runs. He's putting the effort in. He's sweating his bollocks off. He's not getting any service in the middle. And until you start doing that with this striker, spoiler alert, you're not going to get that striker scoring any goals or really creating too many chances. And that kind of sums up Manchester United's performance there today. It's a performance where Erik ten Hag got the 3 points. The result was needed. Well, I can't even imagine what would have happened if United had lost that game today there. But Bruno Fernandes came up with the goods for his manager. Now we've got Copenhagen next. And Galatasaray playing Bayern Munich. If Bayern Munich can win there and we beat Copenhagen, then we go for like basically a knockout tie away at Galatasaray, which scared the crap out of me. Given how this team... I've just realised we just won away from home. Woo! I suppose we did it against Burnley. But Bruno Fernandes, man. We're Moments FC right now. Truth be told, the patterns aren't there. The build-up's not there. We are not creating opportunities through consistent, repeated patterns on the pitch. We're scoring through moments. Scott McTominay came up with a couple against Brentford. Bruno Fernandes has come up with probably the biggest one for Erik ten Hag so far. When we needed him, he came up clutch. I don't know what United need to change. Well, I do know what United need to change. Do not start McTominay, please. Get Amrabat, get somebody else in that midfield. And I'll tell you what, something that I saw in this game here. Maguire did it a couple of times. It's the line-breaking passes we're missing so badly. So badly when our 2 centre-backs are there, passing it through the middle up towards maybe Bruno Fernandes or a central midfielder who's a little bit further up the pitch. We did it like twice, and it immediately created a chance in the gaps between the lines. They're the things that Martinez did so often. And Varane being on the bench, penny for your thoughts there. I've got no idea what's going on. But 3 points, Bruno Fernandes, I absolutely love you. Yes, please. Let's forget about the majority of that game. But the result is what we needed. And at what point did the performances start? That's what I want to know.